Welcome to Old Vinyl Review.
Welcome to Old Vinyl Review. Today we're putting the needle on Queen's News of the World from 1977.
And honestly, if there's one album in their whole catalog that people think they know but really don't, it's this one.
Oh, absolutely. It's the album everyone knows from, a football match.
Right. Stop, stop, clap.
You can't escape it. But when you actually get an original pressing, I've got a UK EMI copy here, you realize this is not a collection of sports anthems. It's the sound of a band, basically fighting for its life.
That's not an exaggeration at all. You have to place it in time. It's October 1977.
Yeah.
And the ground has just completely shifted under their feet in London. Punk rock has exploded. The Sex Pistols, the Clash, they are actively tearing down what they see as the rock establishment.
And Queen, with the satin and the opera, they were basically target number one. They were the dinosaurs.
Exactly. The press was just savage. I mean, you saw that Enemy headline from the time, right?
Is this man a prat?
Yeah.
About Freddie Mercury. It was brutal. They were seen as this bloated, out-of-touch excess.
So Queen had this choice to make. They could either keep making these incredibly lush, layered albums like A Night at the Opera,
which took months and months to record.
Right, and risk becoming totally irrelevant, or they could pivot. And News of the World is that pivot. It's them moving to something rootsier, raw.
And you hear that in the sound right away. It doesn't sound like a studio record. It sounds like a room.
A very specific room.
We have to talk about Wessex Sound Studios.
Yes, a crucial place. Because unlike the super-controlled studios they used before, Wessex was a converted church, St. Augustine's, built in, 1881?
Which is just an audiophile's dream. You're getting natural acoustics you just can't fake. High ceilings, wooden surfaces.
All that natural reverb, that roomy sound.
So when you hear the drums on this vinyl, that's not some digital effect. That is the actual sound of Roger Taylor's kit in a giant 19th century church hall.
And they had to work fast. A day at the races took them 5 months.
5 months of layering.
They did this one in two, July to September 1977. It was a sprint.
And they had some serious gear to capture it. I'd love to nerd out on this stuff, but it really matters for the sound. They had 3 M24 track recorders, but the secret sauce at Wessex, it was the console, a KEDAC desk.
And why does the KEDAC desk matter so much for this album?
Because those preamps were famously clean. They had so much headroom, they didn't color the sound like a Neve desk might. So even when the music gets raw and almost punky, Freddie's vocals just slice through with this incredible clarity.
So you get the attitude, but you don't lose the fidelity.
Exactly.
And you needed someone to balance all that. The raw room sound with Queen's famous harmonies. And that person was Mike Stone.
The man with the golden ears.
He really was. Started as a T-boy at Trident, worked his way up, and the band just knew he was the one who could hear everything. He could navigate that desk and find the balance between the old Queen and this new stripped-back version.
But that stripped-back feel wasn't just an artistic choice. It was also because of who was on the other side of the studio wall.
The neighbors. This is one of those stories that just sounds too perfect to be true.
It's incredible.
While Queen are in one room making News of the World, the Sex Pistols are right next door making Never Mind the Bollocks.
The ultimate culture clash. The kings of glam rock and the architects of anarchy sharing a kettle.
And there's that famous story where Sid Vicious, probably a bit drunk, stumbles into their studio.
Right.
And he sees Freddie Mercury at the console and just sneers at him. Have you succeeded in bringing ballet to the masses yet?
And Freddie, without missing a beat,
doesn't even look up. Just says, oh, yes, Simon, ferocious. We're trying our best, dear.
Simon Ferocious. That is just so perfectly dismissive. It's devastating.
It is. But it wasn't all bad blood. Apparently, Johnny Rotten once crawled across the floor on all fours to say, hello, Freddie, while he was at the piano. So there was this weird grudging respect.
And you can hear that influence. Queen was basically proving they could be just as heavy as the kids next door.
And that aggression comes through in the songwriting, too. This album is a real democracy.
It's not just the Freddie and Brian show anymore.
Not at all. Brian May wrote 4 songs, Freddie wrote 3, which is pretty standard. But then Roger Taylor and John Deacon both write 2 songs each.
And Roger's songs are the ones that are really answering that punk challenge.
Oh, yeah.
Sheer heart attack. And we should clarify for everyone, the song. Not the album from '74.
Yes. A song he actually wrote back then but couldn't finish. He pulls it out in '77 and it just fits perfectly. It's fast, it's aggressive, it's Queen basically saying, you think you're loud, watch this.
And it sounds different because Roger's playing almost everything on it. Rhythm guitar, bass.
Right. He's not just on the drums. It gives it a grittier, less polished feel than Deacon's bass playing.
Speaking of John Deacon, his bass sound on this record is very specific, isn't it?
It really is.
He was using a Fender P bass with Rotosound flat wound strings. Flat wounds give you this really warm, thumping drive without all that metallic dirigializing from round wounds. It just anchors the whole thing.
And you need that anchor because, like you said, the production is so sparse. Brian May himself said they wanted to go back to basics.
They stripped it all away. The orchestras, the huge vocal choirs, and that philosophy is just perfectly summed up on track 1.
We Will Rock You.
A song with absolutely no drums on it.
None whatsoever.
It's just stomps and claps. And this is where we have to talk about the science, because Brian May is an astrophysicist. He approached this like a physics problem.
He did. He wanted it to sound like a massive stadium crowd, but they only had a handful of people.
So how do you make 6 people in a church sound like Wembley Stadium?
The answer is not just reverb. It's about delay times. It's about math.
This is the part that just blows my mind.
It's prime numbers. If you just copy a stomp over and over with a standard delay, the sound waves line up, they harmonize, it sounds fake, like a machine.
Right, it gets that phasey robotic sound.
But Brian used delay times based on prime numbers. And because prime numbers don't share factors, the echoes never line up neatly. They scatter, they interfere with each other randomly.
Which is exactly what a real crowd sounds like. Thousands of individual sounds happening at slightly different times.
It's a brilliant illusion, and they recorded the actual stomps on old wooden boards from the drum riser at Wessex to get that perfect thwack sound.
And on a good pressing, a hot stamper, you can hear the texture of that wood. The guitar doesn't even show up until the last 30 seconds.
It's all about building that tension. And then the solo, which is 3 separate takes stitched together, just releases it all.
And then on the album, no gap. It just bleeds right into We Are the Champions.
Which is such a fascinating contrast. It's completely against the punk ethos. It's not no future. It's completely triumphant. But it's not a simple rock anthem.
No, it starts with that moody piano. It feels like Broadway.
It's jazz. The verse is all C minor, G minor. It's melancholy. Then for the chorus, boom, it explodes into F major. Pure tension and release.
And the lyrics do the same thing. It starts with I've paid my dues.
And then it becomes we. Freddie was very clear about that. He wanted a song the fans could own where everyone in the room was on the same team.
It basically invented stadium rock before it was really a genre. But I want to talk about the secret weapon on this album, especially for audiophiles. It's late.
Ah, Brian's masterpiece on this record. A 3-act play in one song.
It's an epic. But technically, the guitar work is just revolutionary. The solo has this incredible fluidity.
That's the tapping. He's using a 2-handed tapping technique on the fretboard, hammering on with his right hand.
And you have to remember, this is 1977. This is before Van Halen's first album.
Right. Eddie Van Halen obviously perfected it, but Brian May was putting it on vinyl first.
On a good system, that track is just startling. The high end on the cymbals, the bite of that guitar, you can really hear the room.
And speaking of weird sounds, we have to mention Get Down, Make Love.
Freddie getting his funk on.
A little bit. But that middle section, that's pure studio experimentation.
It sounds like aliens have landed in the studio.
That's the Eventide harmonizer. It was the new toy back then, and they were feeding Freddie's voice through it to get those crazy metallic pitch-shifted sounds. It just shows they were still pushing the technology, even while stripping back.
Now, before we run out of time, that cover art. If you were a kid in the 70s, this cover was terrifying.
The giant robot.
Frank. They named him Frank.
A giant, emotionless robot holding the dead, bleeding bodies of the band. It's unforgettable.
Where did that come from?
It's by a famous sci-fi artist, Frank Kelly Freas. Roger Taylor saw a cover of astounding science fiction from 1953 with a similar robot holding a dead man.
And he just called him up.
Basically.
Said, can you repaint this, but
Uh-huh.
can you make the dead people like his? And Freas did.
It's perfect. It's scary, it's over the top, and it signaled that the elegant Queen Crest era was done. This was something else.
And it worked. The album went 4 times platinum in the US. It proved Queen could not just survive punk, they could absorb it and make it their own. Now, for collectors, if you're hunting for a copy, you want the UK pressing, EMA 784. But not all of them are created equal.
You're talking about hot stampers.
Exactly. The first few hundred records pressed from a new metal stamper sound incredible. Deep bass, all that air. By the 5,000th copy, that stamper is worn out and the sound gets muddy.
So an early pressing is key.
It is. Listen to the bass on Fight from the Inside.
Yeah.
It should hit you in the chest. If it sounds thin, you've got a tired stamper.
It's a great test track because that song is just so sludgy and distorted.
It is. And the digital remasters sometimes clean that up too much. It's supposed to sound dirty.
Before we wrap, we have to touch on that legacy. These two songs have gone so far beyond rock music. They're global anthems.
And there's that great psychological trick with We Are the Champions, the Mandela effect.
Right. Ask anyone to sing the last line. Go on, sing it in your head right now.
We are the champions of the world.
Everyone sings it, but it's not on the record.
I've had friends try to return the vinyl to me, thinking it's defective.
On the album, it just ends. We are the champions, and then cut. It hangs there.
So why do we all remember of the world?
Well, Freddie would sing it live, for one, but more importantly, musically, your brain is desperate for that resolution. The song builds and builds and then just stops, so your brain fills in the blank to make it feel complete.
It's a genius move. Makes you want to hear it again.
Exactly.
So if people want to explore this sound more, what else should they spin?
Wait, you have to go to the follow-up jazz from '78. They pivot again, but it's the next step.
And for context, you absolutely have to listen to the Sex Pistols' Never Mind the Bollocks.
Essential. Hear them back to back, and you get the whole picture of London in '77.
To see where this stripped-down sound went, I'd say The Game from 1980. That's when the synths come in, but the tight arrangements started here.
And if you want to hear We Will Rock You as a punk song, find Queen Live Killers from '79. They do a frantic, fast version with full drums. It's amazing.
I love that version.
Yeah.
It turns it from a threat into a high-speed chase.
It just proves how good the songwriting is.
All right, that's our deep dive on News of the World. It is the sound of a band with their backs against the wall coming out swinging.
It's the sound of survival, and it still sounds incredible.
Do us a favor. Go check your copy of We Are the Champions. Does it say of the world at the end? Let us know.
And when you listen, don't just listen to the notes. Listen to the space. Listen to that church. That's where the magic is.
Keep it.